Hey y'all, today I want to talk to you about an herb that's often overlooked, mainly because it's so common. Today we're going to talk about mint. This mint I transplanted from my yard into a bucket. It's a very good way of growing mint, okay? One of the main reasons people may not like mint is because when planted in the garden, it just goes rampant. It spreads by underground roots that are white, and when you pull it up, you'll see white roots, and it can just take over. It looks for sun. Um, I grow mine mainly in a shady, moist area. Mint does like moist ground, and it doesn't spread too much. But this was getting into the walkway. I thought, hey, I'll just go ahead and put it in the bucket. That way, at the end of the season, I can bring it in, and I'll have fresh mint longer. And putting it in a bucket keeps it from spreading, of course. So, why do we overlook mint? Well, mainly because we think of it as a culinary herb. In truth, this is one of the most storied and ancient herbs. It's considered to be one of the most healthy and helpful and beneficial. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit so you can see the leaves. This is spearmint. Okay, spearmint. You see it has a square stem, opposite leaves. All mints has square stems and opposite leaves. It's it hasn't flowered yet. It's probably not going to flower for another month or two. Maybe another month. I don't know. And when I transplanted, here's a little tip. I took some of the moss that was growing alongside it and put that there because mint does not like to dry out. And the moss will help hold moisture in if for some reason I just forget to water it or then it doesn't rain for a while. So let's talk about mint. You may remember in the Bible that the Pharisees paid tithe. One of the things they paid their tithe with was mint. It was mentioned by Pliny. Um, Let me get a few historic references real quick. Let's see. Miss Greaves kind of ran this down in her A Modern Herbal, written in the 1930s. She says that mint was introduced to Britain by the Romans, and um, let's see. Gerard says the smell of mint does stir up the mind and the taste to a greedy desire of meat. It was thought to be good for the appetite, a good appetite stimulant. The ancients believed that mint would prevent the coagulation of milk and its acid fermentation. Gerard, quoting Pliny, says, "It will not suffer milk to curdle in the stomach, and is therefore put in milk that is drunk, lest those that drink thereof should be strangled." Well, I've never been in danger of being strangled by milk, but hey, I think he means congestion. Mint is a plant that helps with congestion. Let's see, many other references to it in old writings, among them the Pharisees. I mentioned that. The tithe was mint, anise, and cumin, by the way. And again, these are both medicinal and culinary herbs. Mint is mentioned in all the early medieval lists of plants. Um, let's see, Gerard said, "The smell rejoiceth the heart of man, for which cause they used to strew in chambers and places of recreation, pleasure, and repose, where feasts and banquet are made." There's actually an old Greek legend that a couple of the gods disguised themselves as visitors, as poor travelers, and they were rejected from all the houses. You know, this is a common story we find in many ancient cultures. And finally, there was this old couple that didn't have a lot of money, and they welcomed them in. And before they served them, they took mint and scrubbed the wooden table down to get that nice smell that would be hospitable and good for appetite. And you got to think back then, people didn't really bathe very regularly. There wasn't deodorant. Mint is also an insect repellent. So the use of strewing mint or scrubbing mint, well, it actually has three properties. Well, four. Let's think about this. One, it makes things smell better in general. Two, it stimulates appetite. Three, mint is antimicrobial. Thomas Elpel, the botanist, who's a big outdoorsman, he always finds some mint and chews it before he drinks water out of a stream that he's not familiar with, so that he has less chance of getting sick from the water. Or mint repels bugs. So, good thing to know. Well, the reward for their hospitality was they were lived to an old age and then turned into trees that still grow beside each other so they can stay together for eternity. And apparently that's a pretty common legend. So mint has been used a lot, and officially its uses are, let's see, Plants for Future tells us a tea made from the leaves has traditionally been used in the treatment of fevers, headaches, digestive disorders, and various minor ailments. The herb is antiemetic, antispasmodic, carminative, diuretic, restorative, stimulant, and, and stomatic. All right. So it settles the stomach. Antispasmodic means it helps prevent cramping. That's why if you're having diarrhea or something, it's really good to get some mint in you in some form. Tea or tincture usually being the best. Carminative, it helps with gas basically. Diuretic, it helps remove excess fluids. Restorative, just kind of perks you up. There's a lot of vitamins in here. Um, Man, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Um, Let's see, stimulant, again, it perks you up. Smell refreshes. One of the ancient uses was to smell it, to kind of awaken the mind. Um, and stomatic, again, it settles the stomach. Leaves should be harvested when the plant is coming into flower and can be dried for later use. The stems are macerated and used as a poultice on bruises. Essential oil in the leaves is antiseptic, though it is toxic in large doses. That's one thing we always want to talk about with the mints. Anything that has thymol, which is the essential oil that's the essence of thyme, essentially, your mints, a lot of your sages, can be toxic in very high doses. You know, like pennyroyal. Um, it's always said don't take when pregnant because apparently there's only one documented case of this ever happening, which is a good thing. A young woman decided to take a lot of pennyroyal tincture to have an abortion, and it killed her and the baby, of course. So don't use, in my opinion, you would have to use the essential oil or take an abnormally large amount of the tincture. Things to really get toxic, but if you're pregnant, just stay away from any herbs that can be harmful, and if you're in a weakened condition. And mint is also used in a folk remedy for cancer, and a poultice from the leaves said to be a remedy for tumors. And again, I can't say if that's true or not, but that's one of the traditional folk uses. Now, one of the folk uses in the mountains where I live, mint and sage are both used basically as an ongoing tonic for the prevention of colds, congestion, flus, pneumonia, etc. And I think that really is the best way to have mint. I don't think you need to wait till the flowers are just about to bloom, okay? Mint is good from spring until early fall. Early fall, it starts getting a little tough and woody and starts losing its flavor. I would love, I mean, if I was advising someone on how to plant a garden, what I would do is I would set off a nice big section, let's say at least 10 by 10 square feet, and let's dig down a little in there and put some boards or stones or another plant like maybe horseradish so the two can't they kind of fight each other and can't spread. Comfrey is one you can actually use as a border plant because comfrey spreads like crazy. It's sort of a permaculture thing, using these spreading plants to kind of keep each other from spreading. It's a lot easier to put in a barrier, okay? Because if you don't maintain and pick that regularly, I don't care how many of those plants you put together, they're eventually going to run all over each other and run across each other. But put in a physical barrier and just have a huge garden of mint. Have a huge garden of parsley. Have a huge garden of garden sage. Okay, these are three great herbs from which you'll get vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, lots of essential oils, a lot of bioflavonoids, all these things that really do support the immune system and help prevent viral infections, bacterial infections, you name it. So I think the best way to get your mint is to have it in a salad every day. I mean, you know, chop it up fine and just put it over your salad. You don't want to have a whole salad of mint. Actually, if you put it together with a lot of parsley, it kind of balances each other. And you can enjoy a large amount of parsley and mint that way. You can cook with it. Great recipe, very unexpected. Was a Greek recipe I tried one time. Um, Take some eggplant, slice it, salt it down, press the water out. Okay, that gives it a nice kind of meaty texture. Cube it up, brown that eggplant with mushrooms and some meat. I think the recipe actually called for ground pork, nice Italian sausage with some fennel, and it'd be really nice, even though you're mixing it Italian and Greek, and they hate that. Beef would be fine, whatever. Put some garlic and onions. Season that up with mint and oregano. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Mint and oregano and tomatoes. You got everything brown. Put some tomato sauce in there. Put it in a casserole, cover it in cheese, bake it off. I'm telling you, that's good stuff. Combination of tomato, mint, eggplant, and oregano with garlic and onions. It's just incredible. It's one of the best things. And they actually serve it with rice, buttered rice, which I love buttered rice. Okay, so think about how you can eat your mints. In the wintertime, you can take that fresh mint, you can freeze it, you can take it out and add it. It's not going to have a great texture, but it's still going to have all those good volatile oils. You may want to dry it and have tea. You can have tea every day. You can include some mint in your bitters formulas. It's going to stimulate the appetite. You can get all the good effects of it. You can make a tincture of mint, ounce of dried mint, say about 2 to 1 alcohol to herb. Okay, so if you got about, and this is by volume. Okay, I'm not talking about weight. So take a jar, put that herb in there. It's probably going to fill about a pint jar about half full. Top it off with some vodka or brandy till you have about 2 parts vodka to or brandy to 1 part dry herb. And you can take that in 30 days. It's going to be strong enough. Strain it out, press everything, put all your herbs into, say, a handkerchief and press them out, get all the good stuff out of there. Take a few drops of that a day. Take a teaspoonful of it a day. Take a shot glass full of it a day. It's not going to hurt you. Unless you're pregnant, unless you have a weak constitution, be very careful. Okay. For me, I graze on the stuff, but, I'm a guy and I don't have so many issues. Um, Anyway, you can have your mint all year. You can get all the benefits out of it, especially if you include it in diet, especially if you have regular mint teas. And, just like I said, really great combining with sage and parsley. I just think that's an excellent tonic. And that's been used by the mountain people for generations, I mean, centuries, and they swear by it. And like I said, I love it. I love the smell of mint. I can't imagine having too much in my garden. So, y'all have a good one, and I will see you next time.